What's up, edge traders? This is Adam Winnig, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you a risk management secret that could make you 40% more profitable almost instantaneously without changing really anything to your strategy. And the reason that this is really important is because not a lot of people understand this, and not a lot of people know this, but doing this alone can give you up to 40% more profitability in your trading system. This is really great, so make sure that you stick to the end of the video because not only am I going to cover that, but also I have another trading tip to make your trading easy, lucrative, and fun that will almost instantly put you in the top 1% of all traders, which is not that hard to do because most traders don't really do very well, right? But make sure you stay tuned because I'm going to be covering that as well, and you don't want to miss any of this. To make your trading easy, lucrative, and fun, go ahead and click the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so that way you don't miss any important videos like these ones that I'm making right now, where we're going to show you a risk management secret that can make you 40% more profitable, okay? By simply using this risk management secret. Now, why is this important? Well, because we have no control over what actually happens in the market. The only thing that we have control over really is our risk management. So having a fine-tuned risk management system is really important in order to achieve maximum profitability. So with that being said, let's actually dive in. And then at the end of this, I'm going to show you a few tips that you can use to instantly become in the top 1%. So let's take a look at this here on my screen. Let's take a look at risk management, right? So let's say that we have this chart here, and let's say that we're going for like a 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio, right? So we're risking 1 here and our reward is like 2, for example, right? It's great if it just comes down like it does sometimes and it hits your take profit. Boom, you win 2R or you win 2% or whatever your R is times 2, you win, right? But how many times does this happen to you, right? Where you see a zone being formed, you're trading in the direction of the trend, right? And you think that, okay, I've got this big white momentum candle coming off of this zone, but then what happens next? Okay, so you put your 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio here, where you put your stop loss above the candle and your take profit down here, 2R. It's great. You get this other sign of momentum. There's another white candle coming on down. It looks beautiful, like it's going to head straight to your take profit. And then you get this long candle where it almost goes and it almost hits your take profit. And then it has this huge wick back up, right? And then boom, the very next candle you get stopped out after being in profit, right? You were in a good amount of profit in this particular trade. I mean, it came down it almost hit 2R. I mean, I guess it went 1.75R in this scenario, but you stopped out and you lost your 1R, which let's say in this case, R is 1%. So you lost your 1%. Let's take a look at this because that sucks. And that happens all the time with trading, right? Where trade goes your direction and it comes back and it hits your stop loss, right? Because it doesn't go far enough. So what could we have done actually better in this scenario? Let's take a look at a few things that you can do with your risk management to become more profitable. So first things first is you could lower your risk to reward ratio, right? Instead of going for a 1-to-2, you could go for a 1-to-1. And this is probably the worst of the options that you could do. It is still a valid option, right? 1-to-1, it would have came down here, hit your take profit. Obviously, you're going to have a higher win rate with a lower risk to reward ratio, just like a 1-to-1 or less. You're obviously going to even have a higher win rate, but you know from our other videos that you want to have at least a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. If you haven't seen our videos explaining this, we basically analyzed 40 million different retail trades, and those that had at least a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, I believe it was 300% more likely to be profitable traders. So this is one thing that you could do, right? Now, the next thing that you could do is that you could move your stop loss to break even. So let's say that, for example, we get in here, right? And our stop loss was above this candle here. It starts moving in our direction. Well, you could move your stop loss to break even once it gets to like 1R. So let's say we have a 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio again, but let's say that once it gets to 1R, which is like this scenario, in this case, it's kind of like right here. When that happens, you could move your stop loss to break even. So that way, if it does go against you, at least it's a break even trade and you don't lose any money, right? Because you'd hate to lose money on trades that go into profit, but then just go back and hit your stop loss. So this is another thing that's really useful that you can do to help, keep winning trades and basically mitigate your losses even more, right? Now, another thing that you could do take partial profits at a certain port. So this may seem a little bit complex. We're actually building a little piece of software that you can install on your chart, and it'll do this for you automatically. It's really cool. That's part of the reason why I'm creating this video, is because I want to share with you guys that little thing that we're having created, and all Blue Edge Financial members are actually going to get this for free as well. So if you're not a member, then go on over to blueedgefinancial.com and you could become a member. You could try it out for free for 7 days. You get a lot more helpful stuff like this and some of our favorite algorithms and indicators and all that good stuff. So anyways, let's talk about this. So take partial profits at a certain point. Okay, so let's say that we have, again, our 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, but we have it set at 1R. Okay, at 1R, we're going to take 70% of our profits. So we took 70% of our profits here at 1R, and then what happens? We have 30% left, and it comes back and it hits our stop loss. So take a look at this, okay? Now, instead of it being just a break-even trade, now we're actually going to be in profit. Now, look at how this works. It's really, really amazing. So at 1R, so at a 1-to-1, we close 70%. So let's say we're taking a 1-lot trade. So at 1R, we're going to close 0.7 lots. When it gets to 1R, we're going to leave the 0.3 lots on the table, and it comes back and it hits our stop loss, right? Well, at this case, we had 0.7 in winning and we had 0.3 losing. So we're like 40% more profitable simply by doing this. That's why this is a huge edge in your trading system, because, you know, you're obviously going to be a lot more profitable using dynamic risk management strategies like this. Now, obviously, nothing is a guarantee. I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to be, you know, wealthier or going to make more money. I can't guarantee you anything, right? But just if you look at it logically, it makes a lot of sense, right? Okay, so let's take a look at what else you could have done, which this could be like the best option for using dynamic risk that can really move the needle on how profitable your trading system can be. So you could take partial profits and move your stop loss to break even. So imagine how powerful this is. So in this case, we're going to use a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, but when it goes to 1 to 1, or when it goes to 1R at this point, we're going to close 70% of the position. So again, if we do a 1-lot trade, we're going to close 0.1% of them right here, okay? And also when it goes 1 to 1, we're also going to move our stop loss to break even, okay? So now we've capitalized on 70% of the earnings, and we've also cut down the downside risk, right? So we earn this 0.7 that we were risking, right? Or 70% of the position, we are in profit and we don't lose any money, which is great, right? So this is really, really powerful. And obviously it's a little bit challenging if you're just sitting on a chart and you're looking at it and you have to stare at the chart. That's why we are building this little piece of software that you can put on your MetaTrader 4 and it'll automatically do all this for you. It's really cool. So it'll be like a risk management helper, basically, that'll automatically do it for you, which is really, really cool. So this is obviously awesome and stuff like that, but there's 7 tricks and tips that if you want to be in the top 1% of all successful traders, if you do these 7 things, then more likely than not, you'll be in the very top 1% of all successful traders. So go ahead and watch that video. And if this was helpful, go ahead and click like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any other important videos like this to help make your trading easy, lucrative, and fun.